Have you ever wondered how language conveys our ideas and experiences? Language, you see, is not just a random collection of sounds and symbols. It's a sophisticated tool that we use to express our thoughts, our feelings, and essentially, our understanding of the world around us. Now let's take it a step further. In the realm of systemic functional linguistics, or SFL for short, there's a concept known as the ideational metafunction. Quite a mouthful, isn't it? But don't fret. Simply put, it's one of the ways language paints a picture of our world and experiences. It's the linguistic brush that colors our conversations, our narratives, our debates, and more, with the hues of our understanding and perception. Fascinating, isn't it? But you might be thinking, so what does ideational metafunction really mean in simple terms? Let's delve into it. Ideational metafunction, in plain English, is how language helps us to express our perception of the world and our experiences. It's a key component of systemic functional linguistics, or SFL, a theory that views language as a social semiotic system. But let's not get too lost in the jargon. Essentially, the ideational metafunction is all about how we use words to paint pictures of our experiences and the world around us. Now, within this big concept, there are two main types: the experiential function and the logical function. The experiential function is about expressing our experiences. Let's say you just had the best ice cream of your life. You might say, "This ice cream is heavenly." Here you're using language to express your experience, to share your joy, and to give others a taste, figuratively, of your ice cream adventure. On the other hand, the logical function is about forming connections and relationships between these experiences. Let's stick with the ice cream example. Suppose you had that heavenly ice cream on a blisteringly hot day. You might say, "This ice cream is heavenly," especially because it's such a hot day. Here you're not just sharing your experience, but also connecting it with the context, the hot day. These two functions, experiential and logical, work hand in hand. The experiential function helps us express our individual experiences, while the logical function helps us tie these experiences together, creating a coherent narrative of our perception of the world. And that's the beauty of the ideational metafunction. It allows us to use language as a tool to share our experiences, to connect these experiences, and to bring our perception of the world into focus. It's not just about saying words, but about painting pictures, telling stories, and making sense of our world. So through language, we can share our experiences and how we connect them. Isn't that fascinating? Now that we have a basic understanding of ideational metafunction, how about we look at some examples? Let's take a simple sentence. John is playing the guitar. In terms of the ideational metafunction, this sentence is rich with information. The experiential component is conveyed through the action of playing. This tells us what John is doing. The noun John represents the participant in this scenario, while the guitar is the object being acted upon. Now, let's add another sentence. He loves music. This sentence reveals more about John's world and experiences. The verb loves expresses an emotional process, while music is the object of John's affection. But how do these sentences connect logically? That's where the logical metafunction steps in. When we say, John is playing the guitar because he loves music, we're using a causal connection to link these two experiential processes. The word because signals the reason behind John's action of playing the guitar. Let's try another example. The sun is shining, so we'll go for a picnic. Here, the sun is shining is an experiential process, and we'll go for a picnic is a future planned action. The conjunction so logically connects these two processes, indicating that the picnic is a result of the sunny weather. In these examples, we can see how the ideational metafunction allows us to express our experiences and the logical connections between them. Whether we're talking about playing guitars or planning picnics, we're using language to represent our world and the events that happen in it. Remember, the ideational metafunction is just one aspect of systemic functional linguistics. There are also the interpersonal and textual metafunctions, which help us express our social relationships and organize our messages respectively. But that's a topic for another day. And that, in a nutshell, is how the ideational metafunction of SFL allows us to express our world and experiences through language. To wrap it all up, the ideational metafunction of systemic functional linguistics is a fascinating aspect of language. It allows us to express our understanding of the world and our experiences. We've delved into its definition, its types, and even broken down sentences to see it in action. Remember, every time we speak or write, we're using this metafunction to share our unique experiences and perceptions. Next time you speak or write, think about how you're using the ideational metafunction to share your world. Isn't language amazing?